Do you ever feel like your kids just won't listen to you no matter how many charts or reminders or chore lists you throw at them? Like you're constantly repeating yourself, brush your teeth, get dressed, stop fighting, and still just chaos. So, in this edition of Hey Molly, I Need Homeschool Help, we have a question from a mom that might be just what you have been needing. So she's a mom of four kids, 3, 5, 7, and 10, and she's been looking for a way to motivate her kids without nagging all day. And so she's been thinking of using a bean jar. Now, the bean jar is something that was introduced by the DeMills in Thomas Jefferson Education. And so basically, that just means you drop a bean in the jar every time somebody does something great. And when it fills up, then they earn a reward, kind of like a family reward, right? So she was just kind of wondering about the details, like should I use a quart jar or a pint jar, or and how fast is it going to fill up? And like I don't want to promise something too big if they fill it up too fast. Um, and I agree, it's a great question. Sometimes you won't even really know the answer how it's going to work for your family until you actually try it. But I just wanted to share a few tips about when we used to use the bean jar method. So I'm Molly Christensen. I'm homeschool mom of 7 kids. I've been homeschooling for over 25 years now. I've tried all the systems and I do like the bean jar strategy, but I want to let you know what I've learned from it. Okay. So, number one is if you have younger kids, pom poms are actually going to be a lot better for them because they can see the progress. Sometimes when you use the small, like dry pinto beans, they really do take forever to fill up. But it also depends on what you're giving it out for, right? So if you use a pom pom that's about a half an inch or something, they're going to see the progress. Plus, they're just more fun. So consider that, right? Beans are going to work well too, but you're going to have to just think about how fast you actually want it to fill up. Okay, number two is you can try to reward everything all at once. Like anytime you see anything good, you could go put a bean in. However, I found that is so hard to follow through on, especially for me. Maybe it's not for you, but for me it was. And sometimes your kids will start saying, "Oh, I just did something good. I'm going to put a bean in." And then they start filling it up really fast, which I mean has its pros and cons because sometimes the kids are just going to make up things too if you don't have some boundaries around what the bean is earning for. So for me, what I found is when we're trying to motivate kids to do something, it's actually better just to pick one or two behaviors to focus on at a time. Because like pick something that's easy to notice. Like if they cleared their plate, great. And also pick something if you're doing it with all the kids, pick something that they can do in their own way. Like a 3-year-old is probably going to do something different than a 10-year-old would do. So, like maybe you could say, we're all going to be on time for breakfast or whatever you want to do, or everybody helps with cleanup without being asked. So once you get in the habit of rewarding, then it's easier to add more, or you reset and you can do it again, which leads me to my third tip, which is set a time limit because rewards work best when the kids don't expect them to go on forever. Plus, with most reward systems, you're going to peter out after 2 to 3 weeks because that's when the motivation energy kind of drops, right? And you're not going to follow through, they're not going to follow through. So, what I found is it's nice to just do like a 2 to 3 week challenge at most. You could even just do 1 week. That's long enough to stay motivating and it's also doable for you too. Another thing you can do too, if you want to, and this kind of goes back to whether you want to use pom poms or beans, is you can actually just fill up a jar ahead of time to see how many are in there and then kind of guesstimate how many times you're going to have to put that in there in the jar per day. So then you're going to know, okay, seems like the kids could earn about 20 of these a day. This will hold about 150. So yeah, a week long challenge would be great if that makes sense. Okay, the last tip, number 4, that's going to be choose a reward before you start so they know what they're earning the jar full for. So let the kids help pick it. With younger kids, you can definitely do easier things like a trip to the park, a movie night at home with popcorn or some special candy or something like that, or going out to eat if that's something special. Just make sure that the finish line feels fun and achievable. For older kids, you can still do this as well. But the reward might have to be a little bigger, sadly. So, as a bonus tip, you can actually also try doing family work time because that's where everybody's doing their cleanup all together all at once. And it does build unity. It helps get things done faster. If you want to know more about that, you can check out the Homeschool Hero Club. And my whole system is in there. Or I do also have a podcast on the Building Heroes podcast.com. So yes, the bean jar does work. For me, I used to just make these super complicated checkoff charts and I would never follow through and it was kind of a mess. And I would think, oh, I'm going to laminate this and make it beautiful and it will last forever. Uh, it didn't. I would spend more time making it than following through. So for me, I love the simplicity of the bean jar just because it's easy, right? You don't have to go find a pen or anything. It's just make sure you stay in charge of the system, not the other way around, right? So start small, make it fun, keep the focus on connection and not just compliance because they're not going to do it perfectly. And that's okay too. And have fun with it. You've got this, Mom. Now, if you found this helpful, go ahead and hit the like button, hit subscribe, and hit that bell button too to get notified when we post new videos. And if you decide to try this bean jar challenge, I would love to hear how it goes. Drop a comment below.